Yo, what's going on YouTube? My name is Dre Credit, and we talk everything credit on this channel. So today I wanted to give you guys a quick insight on just how to look for inaccuracies on credit reports, how to read a credit report and everything like that. So the first thing that I want to stress to y'all is to be pulling your reports from annualcreditreport.com. It's completely free. You can get one a week. It's just way better than that smart credit or identity IQ or any reseller report like that, simply because the information is different. For one, each bureau reports credit differently. They have different fields, they have different names for different things. So when you pull your report from smart credit or identity IQ, everything looks the same. It looks like everything is it's like just compare just across, nothing looks different. And when you actually look at a credit report, it looks very, very different. So let's get into it. So the first thing I wanted to show y'all is in smart credit report, right? So let's take a look. So as we can see here, this is an Ava finance account. It says that up in the left-hand corner. We have on the left here, TransUnion, and we have on the right here, Experian, right? So a lot of the times people will just go down and compare, right? So they'll say, okay, data last activity on TransUnion for this account was March 6th. The data last activity for Experian was the 1st. Or they'll say the date open was the 3rd and the date open was the 1st of February, right? Um, and that's kind of what you call comparison disputing. I don't think you should dispute that way simply because that's a weak dispute and there's no obligation for the consumer reporting agencies to have to report everything on the same day to each different, or for the furnisher to report your activity to the consumer agencies all at the same time. There's nothing written within the Fair Credit Reporting Act that says that they have to do that. So just because the data last activity was the 6th on TransUnion and the 1st on Experian doesn't make it inaccurate, doesn't make it disputable, doesn't make it something to dispute, right? It's a weak dispute in my opinion. So yeah, so you can see this is a smart credit report, right? As what I'm talking about when I say it looks the same is like it looks the same, right? Like high balance on TransUnion, we can see here, it's the same over here. Data last activity is all the same. And everything just looks the same. And when you actually look at a real credit report from TransUnion and a real credit report from Experian, they look completely different. And I have a few I'm actually going to show you, so let's get into it. So first off, this is an Equifax report, right? This is a charge off, as we can see here. It says account status charged off, reported balance $3,746. Okay. Um, so let's just go down the list here. So account history, we have the tables below show up to 3 years of monthly balance, available credit, scheduled payment, date of last payment, high credit, credit limit, amount past due, activity designator, and comments. So we can see this count just has a bunch of stuff here, starting with the balance, available credit, and it's going to show 3 years of all this history right here going down. So it looks like this account charged off in 2022. So there's no history to be shown after, the charged off. But usually though, if it was an open account, all this would be filled up. So let's go down here to the payment history, right? So one thing I always like to look for in the charge off is the payment history, right? Because this is very common right here. How it's just consistently reporting CO, CO, CO every month for like 9 months. That's completely unfair credit reporting, not to mention it's inaccurate information. And it's inaccurate because a charge off is a closed account in which no future payments are scheduled. So if there's no future payments scheduled, how is their payment history being reported on a closed account? You cannot report anything on a closed account, right? So essentially, this charge off was supposed to go 30 days September, 60 October, 90 November, 120 December, 150 January, 180 February, and then charge off March, and then it should be closed in April. So you should see like a CLS closed, and then you shouldn't have anything reporting after March, right? April should just have the CLS and that's it. So that's the first thing I look for, right? So on this charge off, that's a big, I would dispute the payment history, right? Payment history is failing to provide close status, right? Unable to verify the close status of this account. Um, So that's one way I dispute. So let's take a look down here. So we have the high credit, which is blank. We have the credit limit, 4,000. We have the term frequency monthly. We have the balance of $3,746. That's another thing that you can dispute as well, because there's no balance on a closed account, right? So there's no future payments to be made. So there's no balance on the account. It should say zero. The amount past due, though, should be 3,746 because that is what was past due at the time of charge, at the time it was charged off. But this balance right here should be zero because there's nothing past due, there's nothing owed on the past due account or on a closed account, I mean, sorry. Um, Actual payment amount, blank, data last activity, blank, right? Like these are disputable things though, right? Because these things should not be blank, right? Like how much was the actual payment amount that was last made on this account, right? Like you can dispute that, right? Because it's incomplete information. Everything needs to be complete on this consumer report, and they don't even have the data last activity, right? Like, you can dispute that. Um, Owner, individual, account type, revolving, term duration, zero, date open, July 7th, date last reported, December 31st, date of last payment, August 22, schedule payment amount, blank. We can go down here too. Months reviewed, 41, activity designator, blank, deferred payment, blank, balloon payment, blank, um, line of credit, loan type, date of first delinquency, September 22, delinquency first reported March of 23, right? That's going to be the day it charged off. Charge off amount 3,700. Date close, right? Another thing, date close. They got the date open up here. Date open, July 7, 2020. They don't even have the date closed. How do you have the date open but not the date closed, right? That's another thing to dispute. So it's just about simply just finding inaccurate, incomplete, or unverifiable information. Anything can be disputed on your credit report. If it's on your credit report, you can dispute. It doesn't matter if it's personal information. It doesn't matter if it's accounts, negative accounts, positive. It just doesn't matter. Anything on there you can dispute. So yeah, there's this, for this account, first thing I'm going to be disputing is this payment history right here. That's the first thing I'm going for. Whenever I see a charge off that's consistently reporting charge off like this each month, I'm going straight for that payment history, right? Like I said before, payment history is not reflecting proper close status, right? Unable to verify close status, please update to reflect accurate payment history or remove from my credit report. Simple. So this is an Equifax report, y'all. As we can see, it's very different, right? So let me take y'all to TransUnion here. So this is a TransUnion report, right? Different than Equifax, of course. As we can see, this is a Continental financial company. Looks like a credit card. And date opened, individual. It's going to tell you if it's an individual account. If it's an authorized user account, it's going to say authorized user on there. Account type, revolving, loan type, credit card, balance, zero, date updated, payment received, last payment made, the high balance, the credit limit, the status of the account, the terms, the date closed, and the estimated time it will be removed. So with this payment history, TransUnion does ratings, right? As we can see here, rating. And so if you pay on time, they're just going to put an okay. And if you don't pay on time, as we can see right here, they're going to put that 30-day. So you can see 30-day, 60-day, 90-day, 120-day charge off, right? So they even reported charge off twice. So on this account, I would be disputing this payment history, right? Because you cannot charge off twice. I wanted to show you guys something too. All this payment history, right? So actually, if we go back here to Smart Credit, I forgot to show you earlier. But we can see here, this is only 2 years of payment history that they're going to show you, right? Only 2 years of payment history, which is a big issue for me because the payment history, there's a lot of incomplete, inaccurate, or unverifiable information that comes within the payment history, especially when you date it back years, right? Like, let me give you an example. Like if this card had a late payment that was 3 years ago, you're not going to be able to see it on Smart Credit because it's only going to show you the last 2 years of this account's payment history. So you're not going to be able to see a 3-year-old late payment or 4-year-old late payment, right? Because it's just not going to show. You're not going to know it's even there. So I wanted to show you guys, here we go, this one. So this account here, look, this dates all the way back to 2017, right? And we can see all this payment history, 2018 right here, 2019 right here, right? 2020 starts, 2021 starts, 2022, and the start of 23, right? So you have all the way from 2017 all the way to 2023. Every single payment that was made, the scheduled payment, the actual amount paid, the amount past due, the balance that they carried. You literally have like 7 years of history right here just on this account alone. And this is going to show on every account, right? Like if you have a 15-year-old account, it's going to show the payment history for the whole 15 years. So that's why I stress it's very important to be pulling your actual reports from the bureaus themselves, because if you're not, you're missing out on a lot of information that you can use to get that deletion. So let me take you guys, I want to show you guys an Experian report, right? So this is Experian. As we can see, this is a Celtic Bank credit card charge off. It looks like it's the same one that I just showed you on TransUnion, actually. It's just on Experian. So we can see here the account name, the account number, the account type, the responsibility, the date opened, the status, the status updated, the balance updated, the recent payment, the monthly payment, the credit limit, the high balance, and the terms of the loan or agreement, whatever it is. So look at this payment history. So this is exactly the way a charge off is supposed to look. 30, 60, 90, 120, charge off, closed, nothing. Right? So every single charge off needs to be reporting like this. If a charge off is not reporting like this, then it's inaccurate information, right? Because an account can only charge off one time. So to continuously just report charge off after charge off every single month is inaccurate, but it's also unfair to the consumer because it's not giving their credit score a chance to recover. So the further you get from a major delinquency, the better your score will be. So let me take you back to here. So this charged off in March, right? So if they would have charged it off here, closed it here, and none of this charge off were to be reporting after that, I guarantee you this person's score would be higher than it is now, right? Because every time this major delinquency is getting reported, it's keeping that score down because it's not giving your score a chance to recover from that major delinquency. So that's just unfair credit reporting in general. So this is exactly how the charge off is supposed to look, right? So yeah, I just want to make this quick video on, just simple stuff to dispute. So let's do a recap, right? So I'm gonna go back to the Equifax report just because they have the most details, right? So the payment history, right? Payment history, charge off. It needs to be reporting just like this one, right? If it's not reporting like this, 30, 60, 90, 120 charge off closed, and you see a charge off and it's like this, right? This is not accurate, right? You dispute the payment history, right? The payment history is not reflecting the right close status in the closed month, right? And it needs to reflect that. So that's what you can dispute. You can also dispute the balance, right? The balance is supposed to be reporting zero. So you can dispute the balance, right? You can dispute the data last activity, right? It's incomplete information. They don't even have it there. You can dispute that, right? Down here, you can dispute the date closed, right? The date it's incomplete, you know. So I would dispute that. You can dispute the anything that's blank, really, scheduled payment amount, right? Like they should have that there, right? Like, so to leave this blank, the high credit, right? What was they have the high credit up here. Look at that, high credit, 3,914. So how are you not going to have the high credit down here, right? Incomplete information. So it's simply just about, picking the credit report right and just knowing what right looks like on a credit report, right? That's obviously going to take time. You need to look at credit reports. You need to look at what an actual correct credit report looks like, right? Which is not very many, but they are some out there. So it's just about getting time, y'all, but I hope this video helped you guys. Just some simple dispute methods. It's very simple, right? Don't overcomplicate it. It's not complicated to dispute it. You can dispute anything on your credit report. I'd say, just make your dispute an actual factual dispute, right? Like, think about this. When you make a dispute, say, okay, if I were to take this corporation to court, am I going to win? Right? Do I actually have them violating my rights? Right. And I'm going to be making more videos on going deep within the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act, things like that. So you guys can actually learn your rights and how they were violated. Right. But yeah, y'all, I hope this video helps, and I'm going to catch you on the next one.